Hey there, everybody. How's everyone doing? Welcome to the Strategy Hacker live stream. I'm Shelly Palmer. I hope you're having a great day. We always like to do a sound check at the beginning of the Strategy Hacker live stream because ultimately we have had more audio problems in the world. That's crazy. Hey there, look at this crowd from all over the world. Wow, this is amazing. Benjamin, hola. Helmut, thank you. Where's everybody checking in from? What a big live LinkedIn crowd. Amazing. Ken Gold from Atlanta and Mickey from Southern California. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm glad everybody is here. This is quite a day. We have had an unbelievable week, and CES is behind us, which I'm very excited about, to tell you the truth. It has been it's been a crazy couple of weeks for me. The CES crush was insane. It was online, to be fair. The whole day was out online, but the whole show was online. And we're still doing our online tech briefings, which is amazing. Hey, Lori, welcome. And Kurt, welcome. Brian, welcome. Las Vegas, love it. Yeah, my home away from home, which I didn't get to this year, unfortunately. Allison from Mexico. And LinkedIn user from NYC. That's where I'm sitting right now here in New York City. So very happy to have all of you here. Thank you. We're on YouTube Live. We are on LinkedIn Live. We are on Periscope as long as it still survives, which I don't know how long that's going to be. We're also on Twitch, which for the one human being on Twitch who's going to notice we're there. But you can find us at YouTube Live, which is where I think the bulk of everybody is, although the LinkedIn crowd is well represented. So welcome, everybody. Just a little housekeeping as we get started today. If you are not a PGX member, but you are listening, PGX is a private social network that we started in March. We just hit our 3,000th member today. I mean, I'm very proud of that. We started in March, and the goal was to have a place where we could all get together and talk about what's going on every day. And I really feel like we have fulfilled that promise. There's great people on PGX. The conversations are very high level. The discussions are moderated. In the description at LinkedIn, the description at YouTube, and on Facebook Live, you can get a link. That link will get you directly into PGX. So I hope that you will join. You are more than welcome to do that. It's invitation only, but what I found is that if you're spending time with me during Strategy Hacker live stream, there's a really good chance you're going to enjoy PGX. We're going to like having you there. Hey, Don Levine from Westbury, welcome. And welcome David Hool, 75 degrees in Sarasota, Florida. Jim Thomas from Minneapolis, welcome. Glad you're here. Hey, Diane Zellers. And yeah, yes, thank you, Ken Gold. I'm very excited about that. You can always send me an email, shelly@shellypalmer.com, or DM me on Twitter at Shelly Palmer. Happy to talk to all of you and take your suggestions. This is an interactive environment, so obviously everybody's in chat. If you're on LinkedIn, if you're on YouTube, if you're in Periscope, if you're on Discord with us, hey, Diane Zellers, on Facebook. If you are on one of the channels that has live chat, which is YouTube and LinkedIn and Discord and Periscope, please, the chat's a fun place for everyone to hang out. And this is as much an Ask Me Anything as it's sort of my office hours. I've been doing this every week. So yeah, hey, Dave from Denver, welcome, welcome, welcome. What we've been doing this week, I've been very excited. Jason from Huntington Bay, glad you're here. We've been doing every week our online networking salons. We started them months ago, and we just revised the format. The format is now 25 minutes a day, and we've crushed this down to 4 salons each week. On Monday, we do education tech. And we've had an unbelievable group in the education tech area, obviously with so many challenges, schooling from home and working from home, and the difference between online teaching and online work, online learning. We've been having a lot of interesting discussions around that topic. And also, what does it mean to be a superstar teacher? What is the what happens when the teachers become more famous than the institutions they work for and start having their own lectures online and their own YouTube accounts and their Instagram accounts? Wow, Mozambique, amazing. And hello from Twitch. Wow, that's amazing. Okay. You're the one. I love Twitch. I watch Twitch every day for about a half hour. I'm enthralled by the whole platform. Alas, not so many people watch us on Twitch, but that doesn't mean we're not going to keep trying. On Tuesdays, we do leading edge technology. That's 5G and AI and quantum computing, all things machine learning, a lot of stuff with causation and correlation marketing. Hello, Alicia Schwab from Colorado. Glad you're here. And Algeria. Wow, LinkedIn, just amazing. So on Tuesdays, we do leading edge, again, 11:05 to 11:30. On Wednesdays, we've got health and wellness tech. We did that this morning. Today, we were talking about masks and where you get an N95 mask right now. And one of the big questions in the salon this morning was double masking. I don't know if any of you have any experience with wearing two masks, or if you think that's smart or dumb. It seems like the more the merrier. We had a long talk about electricity and the electrostatic charges that capture the virus and bacteria particles in the N95 mask, in fact, in any mask. And then we had a pretty long talk, a very informative talk this morning about UVC light, UVC at 252 and 222, the two different frequencies, the industrial strength frequency, and then where this coherent light comes from and what it can be used for with respect to antibacterial. So it was a really good technical conversation, but also easily accessible if you're interested in health and wellness tech. And the Wednesday Salon is a fantastic place to be. And then on Thursdays, technology, media, entertainment, marketing, we sort of put everyone together, and that's always a lively group. To be fair, the business of television has changed so much that people who have been in it their entire careers almost don't recognize it. You've got data-driven tools everywhere. There is a lot of competition, and the world has really, really, really changed. So it's a very robust group on Thursdays, and I hope you'll join us there. If you would like, we have a whole bunch of free downloads and resources at courses.shellypalmer.com. The PNG memo template is there, and a really good SWOT diagram is there if you want to do some SWOT analysis. Our trend report, which I'll talk about a little bit later in the show, is available there for free. You can go, not only do we have the trend report, in fact, I think I could even just talk about it now for 1 second. The trend report, this year's trend report, 2021, is at courses.shellypalmer.com. But we also have the trend reports from last year and the year before, and the year before that, and the year before that, and the year before that. I think we go all the way back to 2016 in the trend reports. So that's cool because you can see where we were right, and you can see where we didn't quite get it right. And that's actually more interesting to me than where we called it. Some of these trends are really easy, and some of them are really hard. And some of the insights, we dug a little deeper this year than we normally do, and we tried to, rather than talk about the future with some certainty, we tried to set up some intellectual frameworks so that you could think about the future in the context of creating value for your own business. It's something we always do, but in the trend report, we have traditionally quoted a lot of specs and stats. They're less interesting to me right now. We have statistics there that support the theses that we have been positing, but no more than that. So it's an easier read, and really it's about the intellectual framework. This is one of the last weeks we will have the store up, store.shellypalmer.com. These are where you can get strategy hacker swag, hoodies and cups and masks and all the silliness that say strategy hacker. We also have our Zoom fail line, should this be a meeting? Are you on mute? All the kind of silly stuff that goes along with the failed Zoom meetings that everybody has. The reason it's one of the last weeks is we just put this up for the holidays. I mean, I don't want to be in the merchandise business. We donate 100% of the profit to Memorial Sloan Kettering's Pediatric Cancer Care Unit. So you can buy with confidence. I know this stuff is a little expensive. It's because it's done by Printful, and so it's sort of printed on demand. But it's funny stuff, and it's fun to have around. And also, whatever little money we do make, we do send to a good cause. If you're going to tweet today, and I hope you will, if you're going to post on social media, I would appreciate it if you'd use the hashtag strategy hacker. It's something that we've been sort of thinking about and pushing for a while, and I'm happy to say it's getting this much traction. So yeah, thanks for that if you can. If you're on YouTube, if you'd be kind enough to smash the like button, I hear that's the way you say that. Smash the like button, or just follow or subscribe on other channels. You can subscribe on YouTube. I would truly appreciate the subscription if you feel like it. And comments, of course, are gladly accepted. And I'm also much more interested in the things that you want to know than what I want to talk about. So hey there, Tom, representing from Twitch. Yay, I'm so psyched about that. Twitch is my, Twitch is the hill I've yet to climb. That's now, what is super cool in my life, I'll say this with, I'll put this up right now. This is going to make everybody laugh. I have become sort of a weird little TikTok star, and went from like 18 followers to over 3,000 followers in just a couple days. Sadly, it was because I started to make not so nice remarks about the movie Wonder Woman. But then I started talking about cable and strategy, and all of a sudden I started to pick up an audience, which is amazing. So I have like 15,000 likes and about 3,000 followers, and I'm loving TikTok. Like, I just love it. It's really interesting. I make a video every day, as you probably see on Facebook and LinkedIn, short little video that goes with my daily rant in the morning. And speaking of daily rant, I never push this, but I should actually say, if you send an email to shellypalmer.com, I will absolutely get you on our email list, or just go to shellypalmer.com and subscribe. So yeah, the TikTok thing is crazy and exciting. In the comments on TikTok are spectacular. Yes, Steve Catola, a dance video is coming. When I tell you that when you see this in a bikini, you'll understand why I was born for TikTok. You really will. It's ridiculous. Actually, the comments on TikTok have been fascinating. The people are very vocal. They're very opinionated. It is a very wide group. And one of the things I did, we're going to talk about today, I did a little rant the other day on the FCC's broadband report. And I don't know how many of you saw, did any of you see the FCC's broadband report? It was the Ajit Pai, the outgoing chairman of the FCC, wanted to get the annual broadband report out the door, like before he left, which is pretty unusual because they were going to have a new chairman. They do. Jessica Rosenworcel is now the acting chair. She's one of the Democratic commissioners. And so that report said that they were excited that they had 25 down, 3 up as a standard. They've been using 25 megabits per second down and 3 megabits per second up as a benchmark for success through the Republican FCC for the 4 years that Ajit Pai's been there. They killed net neutrality. I got schooled when I was on TikTok from consumers who didn't understand what net neutrality was in the old days, and also from people who feel that it's just a terrible idea, which I find hard to understand, but people do have very strong opinions about net neutrality. If you've got an opinion, put it in the chat right now because I'd love to talk about it. But 25.3 seems unacceptable in a world where you can, I'm in the Midtown Manhattan. I've got a gigabit symmetrical here from Verizon. It's not terribly expensive. It's not terribly cheap. It allows me to do what we're doing right now, and I'm excited about that. And it allows me to do some other stuff too. 25.3 just seems like an unacceptable goal, right? If you would like America to be competitive, kids are going to have to school from home. We're going to have to work from home. If businesses, side hustles have to be created from home, we need some broadband that we can get to. And I really feel like while I know our elected leaders are very busy with other things right now, COVID is insane, and there's the new administration is rightfully fighting its war on COVID. And I understand that Congress has to deal with the impeachment now, and that's something that I feel strongly they should do their duty and do what they feel they have to do. But you should be contacting your elected officials and telling them how you feel about national broadband policy and net neutrality and what you expect to see, because we live in a totally digital world, and without the tools to live in a totally digital world, if we are held hostage by single threaded through a Verizon or a Comcast or a carrier, it's just not fair. It's not fair to us. It's not fair to anyone. And certainly, as you get out of town center, people have less and less and less opportunity to do what they have to do. Now, I need to do a test, and I need to do a test that you guys will just have to sit through. And the test that I have to do right now is a test of running a pre-record, and then I want to bring in Joey on Zoom, and then I want to go with an outro that's also pre-recorded. So I'm going to cut into this. Then Joey's going to say hi, and you guys can all laugh about it for a minute. The entire thing is going to take 60 seconds. I want to know about the video quality. I want to know about the audio quality. I want to know about everything. So we are online with enough people now. Here's what we're going to do. Let's go. Okay, time to test the system. We're going to play a pre-recorded message right now. In fact, this is a pre-recorded message. And I'm going to introduce the lovely and talented on Zoom, inspirational and aspirational Joey Lewandowski. Joey, welcome.
Hello, thank you for having me. Thank you for being here. Thank you for signing my paychecks. I hope this all works as intended. I'm going to send it back right to you.
That was the inspirational and aspirational Joey Lewandowski, who read a prepared message on Zoom. Thank you, Joey. Now back to our live show. That was the inspirational and aspirational. Fantastic. Okay, that was really silly and fun. Okay, so people who are on chat, here's what I need to know. And hi, Denny from Mexico. What? Oh yeah, I definitely have some fun transitions which we can play with later. I'm excited about that. I have Stinger 1. I've got Stinger 2 if I really have to. I'm back. Okay, so everybody, I also have, look, we got sound effects too. If we really want to get crazy, we can do comedy, and we can harken back to years past. We can all do that. I need to know how Joey was more blocky than I was. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Joey's video quality was poor. Of course, he was on Zoom. All was fine. Joey's quality was poor. Yeah. Of course. Okay, you could hear him, right? That's what I wanted to know. You could hear him, and obviously his quality wasn't going to be as clean and sharp as me. It just couldn't be possible, because it's Zoom, it's a screen capture. That is the nature of that. This is really, the thing is, everybody wants to do these kinds of, I want to be able to bring guests in on a regular basis. And it's easy. I can cut back and forth to Joey. Hey, Joey, I'm going to make you live right now.
Hi, I'm live right now, and I'm back, and I'm glad that you told me that I'm live right now.
Yeah, and now you're not live anymore. So it's awesome. But the thing is, it's always going to look, yeah. I guess I can put you picture in picture for a second here, Joey. Let me do that real fast and just see how this works. There you are. I'll put you pics in pics. Now, when you're small, you can talk because we're here. Hi.
I'm talking now, and hopefully I'm less blocky small, but maybe as blocky small. I don't know.
Is this, yeah, audio good, video poor. Yeah, that's what I thought. I don't know how we can take Zoom and make it any better. I really don't. I really don't. Joey said, tell me the Gettysburg Address.
I wonder, to the people who are in the chat right now, who are in the salons, does my video look way worse than it normally does in like a salon? Because I would imagine so, but just, I don't know what my video normally looks like, because it looks good to me, but it's local, so.
Yeah. His audio isn't as good as mine. That's interesting. So what we can do here, because
I'm also using a bad microphone. That's part of the issue. I ordered one, which isn't here yet.
Yeah. I mean, I'm running an NS1 actually in real time on Joey's audio feed. I think that's reducing some of the fidelity because it's taking out some of the noise. All right, Joseph, thank you. I'm going to pull you out of Zoom and, just stay on chat if you could. All righty, Joey, thank you. Let me get back some CPU cycles here. We'll kill the Zoom. And yeah, everybody, thank you for that. Thank you for indulging me. We were we're working hard to try and figure out how to do live guests at the same video quality over either Zoom or be able to use Teams. Teams has a thing called NDI. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but it's a standard network device interface, NDI, from Newtek, and we use it all over the place for everything. But it's not always it's not available in Zoom. It's not available in most of the, in fact, the only place it's available, like WebEx doesn't have it. The only place it works at all is in Microsoft Teams, and there you can get a better signal depending on how good their camera is. It's very, very, very camera dependent. I want to talk to you about something real quick. Tomorrow, I'm doing a talk at 11 a.m. and I don't want to forget to mention this. This is really important. So a few months ago, I was really fortunate to see a video with a guy named a professor at Case Western Reserve University, Dustin Tyler. He runs the Human Fusions Institute there. And tomorrow at 11 a.m., right here on YouTube Live and Facebook Live and LinkedIn Live, I'm going to talk with him about what human-machine partnerships and human-machine fusion is all about. I got to tell you, this is like the most exciting, seriously, the most exciting area. We've used tools for so many years, right? Apes are tool users. Human beings use tools. And we always use tools that are, if I pick up a pen and I'm holding the pen, and this is a tool. I pick up a rock and bang something with it. It's a tool. I mean, a fork. These are all tools. A piano is a tool. A Formula One race car is a tool. They're all tools. But the tools are always external to us. And I've been working extensively over the last few years with this idea of human-machine partnerships. And in the context of AI, where machine learning models or AI models work with you, you work with them, it does what it does, where it's going to grab some data and be able to manipulate that data, sort out some patterns, and you do what you do. So you can imagine just increasing your productivity. An art director can do versioning, using an AI model. You can pattern match better. You can do better statistical analysis because you can. The tools are better. These guys have taken it to a whole other level. They have set up this lab where instead of what Elon Musk's doing, which is like cutting a hole in your head and putting electrodes on your brain, which would be the equivalent of like putting electrodes directly into the CPU, they go down your arm or they go to your appendages and they use your peripheral nervous system and they interface there. And they have three different ways to do it. They do it either with like a cuff that has sensors, which is the lowest fidelity. They do it with some kind of needles that are approximately like acupuncture needles. And then they do like a more sophisticated, more invasive for people who are amputees or who need a higher level of fidelity. But then what happens is your whole body, sort of your peripheral nervous system and your brain all work together to sense the tool. And the thing that I found incredible, and you will too, is that there's this sense of touch that the people who are using these interfaces have, so they can feel what they're holding. They know how hard to squeeze by the pushback that they get from the objects themselves. This is unheard of, and it's amazing. And the group that's doing it is Case Western Reserve University, and the professor is Dustin Tyler. I'm going to talk to him tomorrow at 11 o'clock on Facebook Live and YouTube Live and LinkedIn Live right here. I hope you'll join. You can get the credentials at shellypalmer.com. You just come over and search it on our website. I can't put links in this chat client, but or you could just, if you want, you can just shoot an email or a DM to me if you're interested, shellypalmer.com, and we'll send you the credentials by return mail when we're done with the stream today. Because I got to tell you, this is beyond cool. And what they're going to do, I think, which is really interesting, they're going to try to build the Human Fusions Institute there is sort of a public-private, I guess, an educational, industrial partnership model where they're going to have some corporations come in, big engineering firms, and they're looking for ethicists, and they're looking for metaphysicists and theologians and engineers and doctors and physiologists, and they really want to get everybody together. They got a deep bench, super deep bench at Case Western Reserve. University in Cleveland. So I hope you'll join us, and I hope you'll get involved. Hello, everyone back from Algeria. Wow, that's fantastic. Where is everybody? Hey, Dave McLean. Oh, yes, human computer markup language. Very, very cool. HCML, love it. Um, David Hool asks a question: how to make MS Teams better? Find it very clunky compared to Zoom. Microsoft Teams is clunky compared to anything. The only redeeming factor that Microsoft Teams has, and it is a redeeming factor, is its ability to use interface with NDI. Everything else about it is terrifying. One of the things that Microsoft Teams uh, made me think about, hardcore think about, the other day when I was, I don't know, I was locked in the house for an afternoon, and as we all have been recently, and I took it upon myself. That was my Microsoft Teams API afternoon. So I went super deep into the Teams API so I could understand the interface. I especially wanted to look at the NDI stuff, and I wanted to understand what kind of dashboards we could write, what kind of data we could pull out, what kind of signals we could pull out, what we could put in. And I did. I got to tell you something. It is so invasive. And I guess your employer is entitled to it, I guess. But I don't think I was, and you look, I collect data for a living, and we analyze data for a living, and I constantly proselytize about turning data into action. That's what we do here at the Palmer Group. We turn data into action for our clients. We work on digital transformation about turning data into action. But until you look at the MS Teams API, and until you understand the kind of data your boss will pull out of that without having to do any muss or fuss. How many meetings did you attend? When did you attend them? How many invites did you send out? How many did you accept? How many did you decline? How long were you in the meeting? What were you doing when you were in the meeting? What did you share your screen? Did you not share your screen? Is that going to become an HR benchmark now? If you're working from home, are they going to come at you and say, okay, here's what your Microsoft Teams report looks like? If I'm an employee, that is the closest thing to being full-time surveilled. I just, wow. I don't know if any of you kind of have had this experience, but as I was looking over the API, I was just stunned by that. So, Teams is clunky. There's no question the interface is unfortunate. It will get better, but very slowly. I'm still waiting for Microsoft Word to get better. They seem to have stopped working on Excel for years. In just the last year, they've added a bunch of features finally that are super cool. But the interface hasn't changed much. They've just added some incredible features. I like the translate features in Excel, but I think, Teams will get marginally better. It's not going to get less invasive. It'll get more invasive. I think we're going to need some policy around that. And I think we're going to need the policy pretty soon. Zoom is greater than Teams, greater than Uber Conference. Seth Everett, that's exactly right. That is exactly right. Yes, our David McLean, we will record tomorrow's human machine fusion conversation for sure. Tell me where you're checking in from, because I'd love to know where everybody is. Ask whatever questions you'd like to ask, because I would be very, very happy to answer them for you. And I'd love to also know where you are, because that's the funnest part for me, to see how far and wide this is reaching. Let's see what else I want to talk about today. Oh, NDI is not a company, David Hool. NDI stands for Network Device Interface. New Tech is the company. NDI 4 Tools. NDI Tools is what you will Google. And what you'll find there is a set of tools for Macintosh and a set of tools for Windows. You download them. They put and there's also NDI HX, which is tuned for a wireless world. This allows you to take NDI compatible cameras and put them on your local area network. And also share them on a wide area network. So for example, we use FlyPacks, which are very high quality cameras, HD cameras and 4K cameras and remote locations. Usually we have carrier binds to bind them to 4G and 3G networks for backup, and then we'll have an Ethernet connection. Those cameras will come in, they'll either go into a playout server, or if they're on a local network, we can use NDI to pull them directly into the switcher or whatever software we're using. Like today, I'm using vMix on my computer to to do the work that I'm doing here. And if I have a camera that has HX, NDI HX on it, which is the wireless version, let me see if I can make this work for you guys. And if I can, I will show you a very specific, I don't know if this is going to come up, but let's find out if it does. I'm just waiting to see if this thing wakes up. If it does wake up, I will absolutely show you what a NDI HX connection looks like. But that's what that is. NDI Tools, NDI 4 is the latest version of it. And if you are so inclined, you should go there and download it. I think you'll be very, very impressed with what you can do with NDI. It's one of the really best tool sets of its kind. And I don't think there's another way to do any of that that's more efficient, to be fair. So yeah, that's my sort of take on the whole NDI thing. And I would heartily recommend it. Heartily recommend it to you. Let's see, what else? What else? Okay, so here, let me just, you can see the setup from this side. This is my iPhone. So now you're looking at my desktop through a wireless, through my iPhone. I'll actually take my my overhead camera for a second. You can see that this is running on my iPhone. My iPhone is running NDI HX, which is a wireless NDI protocol. So the iPhone itself now is, I'm using that as the camera, and you can see that I'm using, this is vMix, the software that I use. This is your chat coming in here. This is data coming in from tweets. If tweets come in, I can show the tweets over here. I can pull some titling over here. The PowerPoint controller is over here. Audio is over here. This is my dashboard letting me know what's happening from a stream perspective. And so, yeah, this is basically the way that NDI works. It's a pretty spectacular system. It allows you to take both wireless and wired cameras over local and wide area networks and do magic. And that's the cool part, you know, you can do a little bit of magic. So that's, you know, what we try to do with the tools we have. More questions, please, in chat, because that's the part that makes me happiest. Let me put my iPhone down here and we can turn off NDI and not burn some battery. That'll be good. Logging in from Uzbekistan. Incredible. Oh my goodness, this is wonderful. So questions, folks? Anybody have questions or comments, criticisms, things you want to talk about today, or any questions you want to ask? If not, I will move on to my next topic, the topics that I'm excited to talk about today. Yes, all on Windows OS, Martin Fishman. So yeah, you're talking to a guy who was all Mac all the time. And sitting to my right is an all singing, all dancing, blow your mind with a Kung Fu Grip MacBook Pro with everything on it. That device is so ridiculously expensive, it shouldn't exist in the world, but it does. And when I went to start my streaming experiment, it just, as powerful as it is, and it is powerful, it wasn't powerful enough to do that. So yeah, we're all Windows all the time, which is yeah, which is the exciting part. I had to learn to love Windows again. I disappeared from YouTube and I came back. I don't know why that is, to be fair, but I'm back now. Those of you who lost me, it says I'm online. The dashboard says I'm online, but you never know. Joey, are we back? Looks like we might be. Yeah, you did. So anyway, the oh yeah, Krishna, definitely welcome from Toronto. Martin Fishman, you did bring a smile to my face. I've become now a Windows supplicant as well as a Mac supplicant. I have always thought that the horsepower in a MacBook or a Mac Pro, the desktop versions, which are, if you came into my office, it looks like Tim Cook threw up in here. I used to say Steve Jobs, may rest in peace. Literally looks like an Apple graveyard. There's so much Apple gear in here. But 3 months ago, 4 months ago now, 5 months ago, let's see, 5 months ago, more, we started doing all of this, maybe March, April, and it became clear we were going to need gaming PCs, and then we were going to need workstations. So what I'm on right now is a gaming PC. There's a NVIDIA 2080 Ti 11 gigabyte graphics card in there. It's pretty badass, but not badass enough for the things we need to do. The computer would have been strong enough, but we're doing hardware encoding, and then we're also doing streaming encoding on the computer too. So when I have really important streams to do, I will do the processing on one computer, and there's a second gaming computer identical to it in here that I will stream on. So one is for setup, one is for the actual tools that we use to create the program, and one is just to handle the stream and nothing else. And that's all over a local area network. And in the room is fiber channels, so we're fiber everywhere, which because it has to be. Oh wait, not everywhere. Some of this is 10 gigabits switched, but the fiber channel is here to here. Yeah, there's one fiber card in here that the important one. Everything else is on a 10 gigabit network. So not lost on YouTube. Very, very good. I'm glad to be back. So personally, professionally on a Mac, and then you do streaming on PC. So here's the funny part. That would have been true, except almost everything we do here, we do in a SaaS environment. And so, yeah, that's the crazy part. Almost everything we do in a SaaS environment. So Google Docs, Google Sheets, all of the social media, the Slack, everything is done with software that doesn't live on the computers. I don't have any resident programs. vMix lives on the Windows computer, but I don't have any resident stuff. So it was like, do I want to go to my Mac? And why? Like, what am I doing on my Mac right now that I care about? And why would I use it? Why can't I just do it on the Windows machine? So no, I've been very, very Windows oriented. We have a question here. I'll put it up right now. What does exactly mean turning data into action, and which company pays you the most? Oh my goodness. Yeah. So what is turning data into what does turning data into action mean? Great question. We live in a data-driven world, and the velocity of data is increasing and will always increase. There is no version of tomorrow where there's less data in the world than there is today. Everything you do, from picking up your smartphone to paying with a credit card to going online to posting on social media, it doesn't matter what you do. Literally, if you are interfacing with the outside world, you are creating a path of digital bits that someone is collecting. And the people who collect that, the best, make the most money. And they are the most productive, and they are the most powerful. So in no particular order, Apple, Google, Microsoft, the initialism, or I should say the acronym is FANG: Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, and Google. FANG. Some people call them other things. Some people add Microsoft in there because Microsoft has their fingers into everything you do everywhere. Salesforce would be in there too. These companies are data elite. They have access to data that you don't have, that I don't have, that we will never have. Facebook for sure, Google for sure. Google knows by the keystroke what you're doing, unless you've gone in and gone out of your way to turn off the tools they use to collect your data. They collect your data. So the job of those companies is to translate the value of that data into wealth, and they do that all day long. That's what they do for a living. Google's not a search engine, and you don't ever confuse Google for being a search engine, ever. That's not what it does. Google is a highly optimized advertising delivery engine, and what it does is it uses the data that you generate when you use Google to search, and it decides how to put the right message in front of the right person at the right place at the right time. That's what it does. It is 100% optimized for only that. Everything else is secondary. They use search as bait for you. You go there to search, so they give you a little bit of a reward. Here, you can search, but that's not what it is. They only have to be good enough so you don't go to Bing or DuckDuckGo or some other search engine. And in fact, Google's feeling a little pain right now, because if you're shopping, purely shopping, you have a very likely chance you're going to go to Amazon for your search as opposed to starting your search on Google. Google used to enjoy 100% of your search attention, and now you only give them a little bit of your search attention. I shouldn't say less. I think Amazon is 8 or 10% of the digital business now, advertising business. And search on Amazon. I mean, how many of you, by show of chat, how many of you will start a purchase search on Amazon, searching there? If you're outside the country, whatever search, Amazon's mostly American. So is it on one of the 10-cent properties or Alibaba? Like, what do you search on first besides Google when you are going to shop? I'd love to see what you say. But at the end of the day, Google's not a search engine. It's an optimized advertising engine. It uses the data, it turns the data that you create for them into action. But that's our job too, right? If someone comes into your store and you're creating a customer list, if you have a website and someone is going to log on and they want to be on your email list, if somebody interfaces with your social media posts and you want to collect their data, then you will turn that data into action. So what does that mean exactly? That means that you are going to figure out a way to use the data you've collected to create value for your business, turning data into action. That may be to make a decision. Should I bring this particular product to market? It could be, do I play this particular video for someone? Do I show this person this particular ad? Is this the right person to show this blog to? Turning data into action. That's what it means. It's a big, big, big part of our practice. And we are, we're pretty serious about it. Let's see what I have to look up. I see what this question is. So do you work personally, professionally on a Mac, but do you stream on a PC? Oh yeah, we answered that question already. So let's go to the next one, which is, do you see a future of dedicated stream boxes at stores like Best Buy? That's a really good question. Dedicated stream boxes. So streaming requires like a certain amount of horsepower. And the people who are great at it right now are the gamers. The reason I spend so much time watching Twitch, shout out to all my friends at Twitch. The reason I spend so much time on Twitch is how impressed I am with the tools. Now, most of the hardcore gamers are on dual monitor, dual PC systems. They're playing the game on one PC and they're doing their streaming on another. And so there are plenty of dedicated boxes that you can get at Best Buy. The stats or the specifications, let's just say, for the PC you want really, really depend on a couple things. One, how much money you have to spend, because the sky is the limit, what you're planning to do with it, how industrial strength it needs to be, and how badass of a gamer you are. Because unless you're playing at a very high frame rate and you need super low latency, like if you need certain things, you already know what they are. But if you're just going to do what we're doing here today, do a little video, throw out a stream, have some fun, which is what we're doing today. I don't know how hardcore the streaming box needs to be. It needs to be hard, it needs to be good, but I don't know how hardcore it needs to be. You probably get away under $2,000. The PCs that I'm on here, I bought as refurbs. I think I talked about this in a previous stream. They weren't crazy expensive. I made them expensive by adding a lot of RAM. I added a better video to one of them. I added a very expensive solid state, very large solid state drives. Nobody needs to do that. You can have good old fashioned drives in these computers. I'm a spoiled little brat and I need the speed, and I, wanted to do it. So I did. But there's a lot of stuff online. The way I learned about this first was I went to Twitch and I watched. Then I started to see what the hardcore gamers were using. Then I went and called all my friends who stream. Then I went to my network friends and asked them what they're doing. Then I looked at the pro systems that are out there, like what do the playout servers really look like, and what is the horsepower behind them? What is the secret sauce? Where are the bottlenecks? Where are you really going to get caught? What do you need to understand in order to do this the right way? Where can you skimp? Where can you absolutely not skimp? So that's the way that I approached it. And I think everyone should do the research. I don't think there's a one size fits all solution ever for any of this. Looking at the next question. What is the best AI assistant I can use today to tap into these data sources? And is there one? Well, the best AI assistants, it really depends what you're trying to do. I would, if you really want to learn about AI, go read about GPT-3 GPT-3, the OpenAI initiative, and request access to the demo. That is a really interesting tool set. I think you'll learn a lot. Also, there's Google Labs, and at Google Labs, they have a bunch of experiments you can play with that will show you a little bit about what you can and can't do with AI, what you can expect. One of the biggest problems with AI across the board is that most people think it does more than it does. It's that simple, and assign it magical qualities. We're in a world now called artificial narrow intelligence. It's narrow purpose. It does a thing. It face recognizes, it pattern matches, it voice recognizes, um, it data recognizes, it'll find a pattern for you. That's what it does. There are amazing generative adversarial networks. AVA, AIVA, the artificial intelligence virtual artist, writes music in a co-creative way. Go to their website, learn a little bit about that. There are so many generative tools out there, and you can partner up with some AI systems and see if you like it. If you have an iPad, pony up a little money and get Procreate, the app Procreate. And if you have either a Mac or a PC and you are an artist or someone who likes to manipulate photos, go download the trial version of the latest version of Photoshop and play with the AI tools that do things like not only remove backgrounds that are in an amazing way, but if you take your picture of you and you can articulate your arms and your body, you can change your face and manipulate your face. These are all AI tools running at the edge in Photoshop. And I would call that a really good human machine partnership between you and that tool set. There's so much of this out there, and it's coming everywhere, literally everywhere. There are almost no industries that are not uh, getting the benefit, a real benefit of some kind of tools that you can partner up with to assist you in doing what it is. Also, think about the outcomes, like the real outcomes you're trying to accomplish, because if productivity increase is what you're looking for, AI may not be required. You might be able to do what you're trying to do with statistical machine learning or a much simpler tool. Then that's what I mean. A lot of people like say, "Oh, I'm going to use AI." It's like, okay, do you need it? Do you have enough data to train the model? Do you have a model that can be trained? Are you going to spend the time to do that? When you're done, will you have created something that's so narrow purpose it cannot be used for your next project? Is it going to stay on? It's a lot to it. Whereas if you build a spreadsheet and show a coder what it is you're trying to do and say, look, this is the math I want to do. Can you automate this for me? You might not need AI to do a lot of the projects. Most people who are not data scientists who specialize in artificial intelligence and machine learning learn early, very early, that there are a lot of mathematical tools out there that are not AI. So yeah, that's just a thing. What do we have here, Carolyn? Well, TikTok defines narrow. No, there. Packing lunch for okay. I got that. Let's see. Driving 30% of the U.S. don't meet the 25.3 minimum. Yeah, that was from earlier today. I know it's horrifying. The FCC just isn't doing what it could be doing. We'll see if the new FCC under the Biden administration does a better job. One of the things that I'd love everyone listening to do today, if you can, and I know it's a big ask, and I know that everybody is not that excited about interfacing with the government, and I know that it's a thankless job. The FCC is a quasi-government organization. It's there to put up some rules and regulations. But a lot of the things we need going forward in the 21st century need to be laws, not regulations, not rules, laws. And we can't have them change every time the administration changes its political flavor. Every time you get a Republican or every time you get a Democrat, you just can't have these things go in and out of style. So write to your elected officials, take a minute to learn about, what kind of broadband policy do we have and what should we have. The new FCC, I think, will be receptive to broadband in a more egalitarian, distributed way. It's going to take a lot of money, a giant investment. It's a policy that's going to need funding. That's not something that's easy to do. Most people don't know they need it. When I posted on TikTok, a lot of people came back at me and said, my mom has 25.3. It's enough for her. It's like, yeah, your mom might have 25.3 and it might be enough for her, but she doesn't have 3 kids in the house trying to do schoolwork and she's not trying to run her business necessarily. So, yeah, while it may be completely fine for mom, that doesn't make it fine for an average family of 4 in the United States in 2021. It just doesn't. And the other big problem is that I'm single threaded through one carrier. That carrier decides in most cases how much I'm going to pay and what specs I'm going to be allowed to have. The best I can do in Stratton Mountain, Vermont is 30 by 10. That's it. And it's Comcast. That's what they bought an Adelphia node up there. They bought Adelphia and they didn't upgrade anything. They just, Comcast grew by acquisition. They purchased Adelphia cable. Adelphia has the contract with the towns. Now it's Comcast. The maximum you can do is get 30 by 10. That's it. And you ask for 300 or 100 or no, can't, doesn't exist. Can I have 2? No. So I mean, these are really big issues. And of course, yeah, yesterday, Joey brings up a good point. Yesterday, there was a cable was cut in Brooklyn. The internet got pretty wonky for us. We didn't have internet for quite some time yesterday. I don't know how you guys all fared, but we were really in trouble. Please, more questions if you can. I'm totally happy to answer them. Fang, do they have something in common with Dracula? That's my favorite quote ever. Let's see what else we have here. Oh, there's a few things I want to talk about still. When your carrier says they have 5G in your zip code, is it real 5G? Frank Quinn. No, it isn't. Oh, I can show you this. Oh, this is so exciting. Wait, I'm putting on the overhead cam now. Let me just open this phone up. I just want to put the password in before all right, camera 3, here we go. This is a Samsung S21 Ultra, Galaxy S21 Ultra. Notice the redonkulous number of cameras on the back. This is matte black. It's the first time I ever got excited about the finish on a phone. I mean, I don't get excited about phone finishes because let's face it, you get a phone, you put a case on it, right? I mean, I don't even know what color my iPhone is. It's this color. It's the color of the case. But this thing in matte black is really slick. So the cameras here, they've got 2 telephoto lenses, an ultra wide, and a close-up lens. Plus, it's got LiDAR. This thing has 100x zoom on it, which is insane. It's got all kinds of camera modes that the other one had too. It's got single take mode, director mode. It literally has 100x zoom on this thing. When you go to zoom in, you can take this guy up to 100. I don't know what we're going to see, but literally you can take this up 100 times. Nuts. And yeah, it's digital. There's like a periscope in here, and there's a prism, and it's like really kind of extraordinary. The screen is ridiculous. It takes 8K video, and it's 5G. So when they say 5G, what do they mean about 5G? Yeah, it's got a 5G radio in it. Absolutely does. No question about it. And if you're in a 5G cell, you're going to get 5G. I promise you, that's what happens here. By the way, also happens with my 5G iPhone. You're going to get 5G. Problem is the network isn't 5G. So a network is not just your 5G connection to wherever the cell tower is. That could be all the 5G you want. That tower has to be connected back into the network. Is that a 5G or better connection? Is it fiber? What is it? Is it coax? Is it fiber? It's not copper anymore. It's going to be either fiber or it's going to be glass, or it's going to be coax, one or the other. And so then when it gets there, how are those servers connected, and where are you trying to get to, and back and forth? So the network topology becomes a big issue, because as the network jitters, as the network speeds up and slows down, it changes your experience. So while you may have low latency and high bandwidth to the cell tower, because in America, in fact, everywhere in the world, there's not a mesh network. Your phone goes to the nearest tower. You contend with other phones that are in the area. So the radio signal that's strongest gets the strongest connection. And as they fall off based on the inverse square law, that's why you lose connections to a tower. You contend for that position. After contention, it gets out onto the network and does what it's going to do. So it may be 5G, but the chances are that you're not going to. And by the way, if you call somebody who doesn't have a 5G device, whatever you think you're getting in 5G, you're not, because you can only be as fast as the slowest link anywhere inside the value chain, anywhere inside the network. That's only as good as you can do. So yeah, your 5G phone doesn't mean very much. As I love to say, it's 5% marketing hype and 95% marketing hype. So I usually say that differently, but pretty much that's what the story is. It's really just, you wish it was better than it is, to be fair. Now, one thing I will tell you is that 5G is inevitable. It's the network for the next probably 30 years until they do 6G. And it's going to matter when it matters. It just doesn't matter yet. Yeah, they have to do this seesaw thing. Get the devices, get the network, get the network, get the devices. They have to do that. I appreciate that they have to do that. That's what they're going to do. I'm okay with it. I just don't want people getting caught up in the idea. Wi-Fi 6 matters. Wi-Fi 6 is going to matter to you. You are going to like the 30% faster throughput. You really are. It's going to be marketed. Let me just see what this question is. Okay. Wi-Fi 6 is going to matter. It will be marketed with a name, by a consumer electronics name, Wi-Fi 6E for expanded. Yeah, you're going to care about that. So when you are given the opportunity to get a Wi-Fi 6E modem or router in the house, wireless modem, router combo, or just a Wi-Fi router, you're going to go for it, and you're going to be thankful that your devices can take advantage of that. That's going to be pretty extraordinary. We've all been waiting for faster, and we need it desperately. Certainly in my house, I would love to be able to be wireless at a speed. For those of you who don't know, wherever you have a chance to plug your device in versus use it wirelessly, if you need to do anything substantive on it, play a high stakes video game with your friends in a bang 'em up, shoot 'em up, stream like this, doesn't matter what it is you need to do, plugging it in is going to make you a lot happier than being on Wi-Fi. When do I think Wi-Fi 6 devices hit consumer stores? I would say sometime by Q4. I've seen Belkin's got a couple of them out there, and I know they're coming. And so, yeah, I am very sure this is the question, and the right answer is I'm very sure that we're gonna see that stuff end of the year. I'm excited about it and stoked that it's coming. A few last little bits. First of all, I want to thank everybody for being here today. If I could just remind you again that tomorrow at 11 a.m. we're going to have that incredible conversation with Dustin Tyler, the professor at Case Western Reserve University, about human machine fusion. I know it's going to be awesome. Also, remember, you can go to courses.shellypalmer.com, and there you will find our trend report. And the trend report, of course, is free. It's always free. So feel free to download it. And I'd love your thoughts. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about it. I always want you to send me emails because I love getting your emails. So please, if there's something we can do better, if there's something we can help you with, feel free to send us an email, Shelly@shellypalmer.com. Oh yeah, and we did our summit for CES a couple weeks ago, and it was really good. I mean, I just really enjoyed it, and it made me really happy. The people were great, and the speeches are fantastic, and the interviews came out wonderful. So if you're interested in that, you go to ces.shellypalmer.com, and each of the interviews is just chunked up out there, and you can, watch them individually. You don't have to watch the whole thing. It was like over an hour long, but Carolyn Everson's there, and Wanda Young from Samsung, and Barak Turovsky does an incredible speech about AI and the state of AI and Translate, the Google Translate project. So you can go there and see that at your leisure. With that, I would just want to say, look, we have a new administration. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on right now. The world's insane. COVID's insane. one of the things that I appreciate more than you can ever know is this time that we get to spend together each week, from 3 to 4 o'clock. It allows me to practice what I want to practice, learn things I want to learn, make mistakes that I don't get yelled at for, try new things, which is, really important, especially now as we're all trying to expand our capabilities, learn to be better at the things we already know, and learn to do new things that we don't know how to do. And for that, I really, truly thank you. You are always honest with me, and I appreciate that, and very supportive. And that's important to me as well. So if there's anything I can do to help you, you let me know. Please come to the salons and Monday through Thursday. Subscribe to the mailing list, join PGX, whatever it is. If you want to interface any way that we can add value or help you be better at your business, please, please, please take advantage of the stuff we offer. We are totally happy to help. And with that, I'll thank all of you very much and look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you. Take care.